live stream here on my YouTube channel, and I haven't put any advertisement up that I was going to have a live stream or anything. I am just randomly coming on board here because it's a very blustery Sunday afternoon here in this part of the world, in Ireland, and I'm going to go over my Absolute comic collection, my DC Absolute comic collection. I have some bagging and boarding to do, so I thought best maybe just to sit down and take the time and just do it via live stream, and you never know, somebody might pop up and join me, and if they do, great, you're very, very welcome. So first off, I got myself the old Essential comic box, because I want to be able to put all my Absolute comics together. So that's number one. And number two, I have some recent pickups that I have to bag and board, and I just take the opportunity just to talk about what I have in my collection, and just talk about it. And why not, because the Absolute line is so popular at the moment, and I just want to go through what I have, and you can tell me what you think. So first off, what I have is Absolute Batman #1, and this is the one that I picked up when it was first released. So I picked this up in my LCS back in the day, and I would have said in a previous video that Absolute Superman it never caught on with me. It didn't resonate with me, and so this was the only issue of it that I have in my collection until this week when I picked up number 15. So there's a new storyline starting off in number 15, so I thought, on the strength of the other titles and how well they're doing, I decided I would give Absolute Superman another go. So I picked up this one, and I think it's a fantastic variant cover. It's very windy here outside, so I don't know if you're going to pick up the wind howling, but yeah, that's what we have. So what am I using? And this is my boards that I use for boarding my comics. And Comic Star Silver Age, and then Comic Star Silver Age bagging. And then I have just some Comic Age comic dividers. So yeah, they're the bags and boards that I use for my comics. So no better time than now just to open them up and just start using them. So yeah, Absolute Superman, of course, is starting a new storyline in Absolute 15, and I think that this is kind of the pickup from Absolute Evil #1 with the introduction of Absolute Hawkman. So I just thought, yeah, it would be a good time to go back and pick it up. So yeah. I think that the Absolute line is we all know it's doing really well, and it's very, very popular. So it's important to protect your books, protect your comics, and that's just what I'm going to do now. So yeah, there's a lot of coverage online at the moment about, I suppose, Absolute Batman more than anything else, because of just how popular it is as a comic, and just backlash hasn't begun yet, but I hope it gets the opportunity to find its feet and continue to grow in popularity, because I think it's the best thing to happen to comics in a long time, and there's been such an appreciation of it. And so there's Absolute Superman bagged and board. It's important to look after your comics. There it is, and that's the variant I picked up it's not the most, it's not the variant that everybody wants. You know the one that I'm talking about. But this was the one that I preferred. This is the one that I picked up. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So there's that. Now what else did I pick up? I picked up. So these are my two absolute Superman that I have. Number 1, first print original, and number 15. So yeah, that's where I am. That's my absolute Superman line picked up. Now let's see, what else do I have? I have a couple of, I picked up the Absolute Batman Arkham Special, and I picked up 2 copies of that. So of course that's the original version that we all know, and then I picked up this one here by, is it Ramoso? And yeah, I think I really like that cover. It's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's them 2. So these 2 need to be bagged on board. And yeah, I see online where, you know, comics can go on sale on a Wednesday, and you get them for, you know, the price of a comic. And then like two days later on eBay, or even I've heard of LCSs upping their prices after a day or two and charging extra for new releases, which I think that's a pretty mean thing for an LCS to do. And if my LCS was doing that, I think I would be looking elsewhere, because you got to give people the time to be able to, you know, go to the comic store and pick up their comics. And you know, not every store has the same amount of copies or variants. So sometimes you have to go to more than one. But I suppose that's the fear of missing out, and the whole idea of maybe what's driving a certain sector of the comic community is speculation and all of that. So there's my two Arkham Absolute Batman specials. Let's see what else do I have here. A little bit of room here on my table. So I have 2 copies of Absolute Wonder Woman number 15, and yeah, I got those in my LCS on the day that they were released. And the title that I'm picking up is first print runs of Martian Manhunter, and I am quite happy to say that by this time, hopefully by the end of next week, I will have 1 to 7 first print runs, and this is number 2. And this is not a title or a run that I've read, but just the enthusiasm and the reviews for this run have been so strong and so good that I decided to go ahead and pick it up. So that's going to be by this time next week. I will have a copy of all of them, and also will be able to do a video hopefully on this run, because it's pretty cool. What else? And there's of course Martian Manhunter number 7. That's just a new release. But I've got Wonder Woman number 10 in the back of this, so I need to just take Wonder Woman out. Or Wonder Woman 12, not 10, I'm sorry. And give it its own bag and board, which it deserves. So yeah. So just reading online about how there is an idea that the absolute line is growing in popularity, and that it's kind of putting mainstream DC runs kind of at risk, or it's just highlighting just the popularity of the absolute line in contrast with like DC's mainline run, probably with the exception of Harkey and Mays and Matt Fraction's Batman. And speaking of, there is an Absolute Batman number 1 second print, and there's Absolute Batman number 1 third print, and both of these are by Nick Dracala in the covers. So I have those two, and they seem okay. Let's see what else. I'm going to try to get things in order. I'm not too sure what's going on. Things are out of order here. Let's see. Here we go. So, yeah, you'd have seen me doing a video before of the All-In Special, and this is the first appearance of the Absolutes. So, absolutely, it's a must-have. Then, of course, the most sought after of all the Absolutes, I think, at this stage, is Absolute Batman number 1. And yeah, there it is, in all its glory. So what else? Number 2. But what I'm going to do, you see the way I have them double bagged, so I'm going to just, what I'm going to do is just give each its own bagging board. So yeah, I think it's a nice way to spend an afternoon when, especially, it's absolutely howling a gale outside. You're just thinking to yourself, what are you going to do? Just get your comics out and start bagging on board. And Typical Gamers is after saying hi. Hi, Typical Gamers. Great to have you on board. And I think that's Eliel. Eliel, thank you for coming on board. It's good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions you want to ask, please feel free to do so. Just fire them up. It's great to have you on board. Yeah, so that's, what number is that? That's number 3. So this is All-In Special number 1, and there's my number 2. Yeah, all of these I've picked them up at my LCS while they were being released back over a year ago, and I've just managed to, it's all exploded since then, as you all know. I'm very fortunate. I have one, well, I do my comic collection. I collect my comics usually in Dublin, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 really decent comic shops. And yeah, there's my Absolute Batman number 4. It's pretty beautiful Nick Dracala cover. And again, I'm just going to take number 5 out and put it into a new bag and board, because you gotta look after your comics. So you've all been enjoying the Absolute line. I'm sure that, 2025 last year was definitely the year for Batman, and whether you like it or not, DC seem to be, well, not that it seems, they are. They're killing it at the moment with their releases. And other significant releases would have been, Batman and Robin, Year 1, and then of course you would have Dark Patterns by Dan Waters and Hayden Sherman, which is probably one of my favourite Batman runs ever. So there you have it, Absolute Batman number 5. Beautiful. And then I am going to just get Absolute Batman number 6 out, and I'm going to, I'm just going to put it in a fresh bag and board, you know. So yeah, Jack Stevenson, hey Jack, how are you? Hope all is well with you. And yeah, all I'm doing is waffling, folks. I'm just chatting and just talking about how much I'm really enjoying the Absolute line. You know, I've been reading Batman comics for many, many decades now, and I don't know, the Absolute line is fantastic. You know, it's given us as readers, it's really delivering. And there's Absolute Batman number 3. So yeah, I'm putting that also back into giving it its own bag and board. I'm not very good at bagging and boarding sometimes. Sometimes I have all these comics, but I kind of, it takes me a while to get around to bag and board them. And really, you know, you got to look, as I keep saying to myself, you got to look after what you have, you know. So, you know, you've got your all-in special number 1, and like I remember in my LCS that you could pick up. This was just lying. There was like stacks of them, and they were just lying there, and nobody was buying this, or from what I remember, because it used to be always just lying there. But now you can't get them, and they're quite expensive now. So it's crazy. And again, look, I'm just showing you this bad boy. You know, number 1. Again, number 2, beautiful. My number 3. My number 4. And my number 5. And my number 6. Okay. And let's see what else. To make sure that I have everything here. I mean, look, I have here is the foil variant of Absolute Batman number 1, and this was released for Batman Day. So actually, I have more. I have like the 3rd print variant by Nick Dracata. I've got the 2nd print variant by Nick Dracata, and now I've got the Batman Day foil version variant of Dracata's Batman number 1. So I don't know what print that is, but it's there somewhere. So many variants. So where am I? I'm up as far as number. Hey, look at this, number 7. €4.99, folks. That's what I paid for it. Mr. Freeze. Wow. And number 7. And then I got this beautiful Bruno Redondo variant, because I really like Bruno Redondo. And here you have just this beautiful cover here. Yeah. I'm going to open this up. Just have a look at the inside. The Dracata cover. Just how cool is that? Beautiful. So, I mean, there's so many, as I've said before, there are so many reprints of all the titles. I mean, Batman, Absolute Batman number 1 is going for 10th. Is it next 2 weeks or something? It's going to be the 10th reprint. which is yeah, pretty cool. And yeah, so what have I got? Next one is well, this is the one that this is issue 9, of course, part of the Abomination being storyline. And yeah, so this is just an opportunity to just get all my comics in order and get everything back on board and done properly, and not just, you know. Another part of the absolute collection that I have is the work in progress, and I've done some shorts and some videos about, you know, that oversized, you know, the black and white giant size absolute Batman #1 work in progress, which is absolutely fantastic. And then the next one, which probably this is the comic that made everything click when it came to the absolute universe, and it was when I decided, or I kind of realized I had an idea of what was going on, and that was this one, Absolute Batman #10. This comic was bonkers. And if you're watching, you know, if you're on watching this live stream, or you watch my channel, or if, you know, you collect Absolute Batman, then you'll understand. Like, the story just went into overdrive, and then it was like just the absurdity of it. But then you began to realize that is the whole purpose of the absolute world created by Darkseid, that it is like a pretty dark place. And #10 really showed that, you know, and Bruce having those surgeries, and then it was just like there was no way that how was he going to take on being crazy. So probably my favorite pickup from 2025, without a doubt. Pretty cool. So let's see. Just going to, I don't know, can I check here? Okay. Yeah. Now, okay, I'm just catching on here of what people were talking about. What are you talking about, Lily? Lily, I'm talking about, this is me getting back to you because I just want to see you're in Ireland, so typical games, same. So yeah, Jack Stevenson. Not too sure. Yeah, Lily, you might get your comics in Subcity or Forbidden Planet or Big Band Comics. I'm not too sure if you're in Dublin, or maybe you're not in Dublin, maybe you're outside of Dublin and you get them posted to you or whatever. Absolute Batman #11, and yeah, again, the Abomination, and it's the Bane storyline. Superb. So I have to just take one out of here, and I have to put my next one, which is #12. Look at that. And as far as I know, this is a Dennis Conway variant cover, and yeah, and this is for Absolute Batman #12. There's Killer Croc. Yeah. So I'm just going to pop him into his own bag and board. So yeah, I don't know. I am sure there are plenty of comic collectors in Ireland. I am sure that there are plenty of collectors who are just as enthusiastic about comics. Them, you know, and it would be nice to be able to link in with them and to you know, see who's collecting these absolute lines at the moment, and just to have, you know, fun chats about these great comics. So yeah, that's a cool cover. So what is your name? My name is Patrick. Patrick. Yeah, that's my name. And that's Emily Stack. What number was it? That was number 12, and then 13. I picked up the variant cover, which was the artist variant cover for number 13. And let me see if I can just, you know, this is the cover for the variant, artist variant cover, because someday, you never know, Director Cala might come to Dublin and you might actually have a couple of variant covers that you can hand them to maybe do a little bit of artwork. But yeah, not too sure if that's ever going to happen, but I do like picking up these artist variant covers. I think they're pretty cool. And then the next one is Absolute Batman number 14. Again, the Abomination storyline, and quite a satisfying conclusion to the whole Bane storyline, and one that I thoroughly enjoyed. And let me just, let's see what that says. Yeah. So if you're from Ireland, I would be interested to know, what comic shops do you buy your comics in? Are you in Dublin? Is there another comic shop somewhere that I don't know about? You know, you could give me a shout, or let me know. So that's number 14. And then I picked up 2 copies of number 15, the Joker. That beautiful cover. Pretty stunning. Pretty stunning, that cover. So let's see. I just want to make sure that I have everything. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just going to recap again just what I have, and at the same time I just want to show another few things. Like I picked up the reprint from Jorge Mays and Matt Fraction's Batman number 1, and I got the Nick Dracala homage variant, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's just, let's see if I can just contrast that with actual number 1. Isn't that cool? I was first introduced to Nick Dracala through Batman, and when I first started collecting Absolute Batman number 1, I thought, my goodness, I said, this artwork is crazy, and it was like, I'd never seen anything like this before. It was like verging on abstract, or it was just completely different, because I was raised with George Perez and John Byrne, and like Gil Kane and Dave Cockrum, but especially John Byrne and George Perez, who I would regard as being like the masters. But yeah, Nick Dracala is, and DC have that at the moment, but like DC have Bruno Redondo, they have Nick Dracala, they have Dan Mora, they have Nick Heyman, just really, really strong artists and titles at the moment. Jorge Mays. So what other Batmans do I have for Absolute? I have the Batman Annual, and this is the Dracala variant cover, and yeah, I think that's a pretty cool cover of the Batmobile. And yeah, what I got? A Bat tank. So that's, what else do I have? I also have a number Absolute Batman. I have the Jock variant for Absolute Batman number 15. And this is the Joker one. And I just picked that up in my LCS2. And yeah, so that's a pretty nice variant to have. So I'm just going to go over again and just show you, because this is me coming to the end of my Absolute Batman. And yeah, you can tell me what you think. So I have the, honestly, I have the all-in special. Again, first introduction of the Absolute Trinity, and definitely one you need to have in your collection. And as I said previously in this live stream, I remember when my LCS had a stack of these just lying on the floor that you could pick up, and like, I don't know whether it was selling as well initially at the start, but it's definitely kind of a comic that people are looking out for at the moment. So that's that. Then my Absolute Batman number 1, and it's just, yeah, great to have. And I've got my number 2. And I have my number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's my 8, which is Bruno Badongo variant cover, my 9, my 10, my favourite comic of 2025, and my 11, my 12, my 13, my 14, and my 15s, and then my Jock variant. And that brings me to that's my Absolute Batmans. Yeah, what a great run. What a great run it's having, DC's having so far with the Absolute line. So what else? I have like everybody else, I would say, for the majority of people, I have the Artist Variant edition of Absolute Evil number 1. And yeah, this was a great edition, and I'll tell you why, because it allows DC to be able to pick up and to expand on different parts of the DC kind of Absolute universe. So like this was like the Justice League of Evil, and kind of fleshed out more of the Joker and all the other antagonists within the Absolute universe. And yeah, so that would kind of go hand in hand with the Arcade Special number 1. So yeah, so that's my Absolute Batmans. And as I said previously before, I just have 2 of the Absolute Superman number 1 original, and then the latest Superman, which is number 15. Yeah. So what else do I have in the Absolute line? Well, the next one would be I think I've showed before, I have 2 Absolute Martian Manhunters, but I'm going to have the full collection of that by the end of next week, because I have that in order. because I want to pick that Martian Manhunter line up. The fact that it's getting, you know, such excellent reviews. So what else? What's next? Well, I have, look at this, Absolute Wonder Woman #1. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. This title it's up there with Batman, without a doubt. And again, it's great because it introduced me to the artwork of Hayden Sherman, and who I'd never known their work before, so that was pretty cool. And there's #2. So that's pretty cool to have. And then I have number 3. Yeah, number 3 needs to be bagged and board. It really does. So I think I've said this a few times in this live stream, you gotta look after your comics. You gotta make sure that they're bagged and boarded. Blustery weather here. Yeah, so there you have it. Absolute Wonder Woman #3. And let's see what else. 1, 2, 3. Absolute Wonder Woman #4. I just love the whole kind of delving into kind of mythology, Greek mythology, and just the whole storyline with Absolute Wonder Woman. And yeah, she comes across as being just a really powerful character, but also she has a lot of sensibility with her. And you know, it's when you get to the crossover with an Absolute Wonder Woman kind of 15 that you just, the compatibility and that yin and yang with Batman is pretty cool. And yeah. And again, I remember going into my LCS, and Absolute Wonder Woman was, you know, people were trying to figure out about the whole thing. Was it going to take off or not? But I can assure you it most certainly has. And yeah, the artwork by Sherman and Kelly Thompson's writing is top notch. And look, at least this is one of this cover here from no, where is number? I'm missing a number here. Oh, here we go. Number 5. So this needs to be bagged and boarded too. Let me just check. My messages, or the live stream is not, if anybody sent me a message, it's not really, oh yeah, it is coming. So, yeah. Just going to put number 5. And then I've got number 6. Isn't that cool? That's a cool cover. Yeah. 6. So, yeah. And this is number 7. I never really collected current titles because I've been spending this last couple of years picking up comics that I've wanted from like mostly the 70s and the 80s. That's really what I've been concentrating and focusing on. And I've been enjoying kind of going back and, you know, looking at my John Byrnes and my George Perez's and those great runs from the 70s and 80s. Thinking of, you know, the great runs from the 80s. We had John Byrne's Fantastic Four, Walt Simonson's Thor, and Frank Miller's Daredevil. 3 Marvel titles, by the way. And I think it was, I thought about maybe a year and a half ago, I says, you know, maybe I should start looking at current titles. And there was nothing in Marvel that was jumping out at me that I would be interested in picking up, and I'm a lifelong X-Men fan, but there was nothing, the X-Men had become totally as if I took a different entity altogether. I just, Omega level mutants and all that kind of stuff, I was like, oh, okay, this is okay, yeah. I had kind of veered off from comics after Jim Lee left the X-Men back in the day. So the first current run, and this is issue 8.5, folks, that's issue 8. The first current run that I picked up was Tom Taylor's and Bruno Redondo's Nightwing, and that was kind of an enjoyable run, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And that I got to know other artists, and then I think by the time the Absolute Batman came about, I think I was ready for picking up kind of a run or a title, but not knowing that Absolute Batman would be as enjoyable and turn out to be as brilliant as it is, and the rest of the Absolute line. Here's number 13. This is a brilliant comic. Love it. And then that's a two-parter, and it's just up to 14. And then that's my Absolute Wonder Woman collection. And yeah, it's pretty solid. I haven't picked up any Absolute Flash or Green Lantern. I haven't picked up any of that particular run. And I picked up, let's say, like an example, I picked up, sorry folks, Absolute Wonder Woman number 12. That's another one I need to put in what I have. Yep. And then I have Night Fight number 2, Dan Mora, and this is the DC Knockout number 1, and this is the second reprint, and it's a Dan Mora variant issue that I picked up because Dan Mora is the hardest working artist in DC or in comicdom at the moment. So I have other things coming. I have other comics that from the Absolute line that I hope to get my hands on. But I think I'm coming to the end of my live stream, and yeah, when I get my hands on the rest of my Martian Manhunter first edition editions, I'm definitely going to do a video on that. Just taking this opportunity here for all of you who joined my live stream. Hey, I really appreciate it. It's a Sunday afternoon, you guys have a lot of other things to be doing, but let's see, Lily L, thank you, Typical Games, and who else was here? Jack Stevenson. Hey Jack, you know what, I appreciate it. And just anybody that took the time out to come up and say hello, and Emily Stack, and you know what, everybody, I really hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching my channel, and yeah, enjoy your comics, and yeah, look after yourselves. Take care.